Summary of the book, How to Talk to Anyone, Anytime, Anywhere by Larry King. This book is an essential guide for anyone who wants to improve their communication skills, whether in social or professional contexts. Larry King, one of the most influential communicators on television and radio, shares practical strategies for speaking with confidence, connecting genuinely, and overcoming common barriers in human interaction. Speaking well is not an innate talent, but a skill that anyone can develop with practice and dedication. Key point 1. Honesty and authenticity. Being transparent and authentic makes conversations easier as people value sincerity. Transparency and authenticity are the fundamental keys to establishing effective connections in any conversation. Speaking from the heart, without embellishment or artifice, builds immediate trust and removes barriers. In any situation, people quickly sense honesty in words and body language, which predisposes them to listen and open up. This does not mean exposing intimate details of personal life unnecessarily, but rather sharing experiences and emotions in a way that makes others feel comfortable and valued. Effective communication requires showing genuine interest in the other, but also being honest about oneself. Admitting insecurities or mistakes does not weaken. On the contrary, it strengthens the connection because it demonstrates humanity and vulnerability, qualities that bring people closer. For example, if something goes wrong when starting a conversation, acknowledging nervousness or awkwardness can diffuse the tense moment and make both parties feel more relaxed. When sharing personal information, balance what is enough to build a bridge of trust with what is appropriate for the context. This includes speaking naturally about your own history, interests, or aspirations. Telling real anecdotes rather than trying to impress with grandiloquent stories makes others relate and participate more actively. Honesty is not just about words, but also about actions. Sincerity is reflected in the consistency between what you say and how you act. Listening attentively, maintaining genuine eye contact, and demonstrating interest with open-ended questions reinforce the perception of authenticity. In challenging moments, such as a mistake during a presentation or an interview, being direct and admitting the mistake with a smile or even humor diffuses tensions and leaves a lasting impression. This approach shows that communication does not need to be perfect, but authentic and human. Key point 2. Genuine interest in others. Listen attentively and ask open-ended questions to understand the other person. Empathy and respect are essential. Genuine interest in others begins with the ability to listen attentively. This means giving your full attention to what the other person is saying without thinking about what you will respond next or getting distracted by your own thoughts. Listening attentively demonstrates respect and validates the other person's experience, creating an environment where both can feel comfortable. It's not just about hearing words, but picking up on the tone, emotions, and intentions behind them. Asking open-ended questions is a powerful tool that keeps the conversation going and gives the other person a chance to fully express themselves. Open-ended questions like, "What do you think about?" or "How do you feel about that?" invite them to share more details, reveal their thoughts, and most of all, show that you are genuinely interested in what they have to say. This approach not only builds trust, but makes the conversation richer and more meaningful. Genuine interest doesn't involve dominating the conversation, but rather focusing attention on the other person. An effective way to show empathy is to acknowledge their emotions and experiences. If someone shares something meaningful, you can nod, maintain eye contact, or respond with phrases like, "I understand how you feel," or "That must have been difficult for you." These small actions build a deeper connection and show that you are not simply waiting for your turn to speak. Respect is another cornerstone of genuine interest. Respecting others' opinions, experiences, and emotions, even when you disagree, enriches the interaction and encourages open dialogue. Every person has their own story, and approaching it with humility and genuine curiosity makes the other person feel valued. Talking less and listening more also leads to discovering common interests, which strengthens the bond. Finally, body language complements the message. Leaning slightly toward the person, maintaining natural eye contact, and avoiding distractions like looking at your phone are all gestures that communicate real interest. Showing genuine interest means being present, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, willing to truly learn and connect. Key point 3. Icebreaker skills. Use general topics like the weather, current events, or common interests. Avoid closed-ended questions that are answered with yes or no. Breaking the ice is the first step to starting a successful conversation, and this requires finding universal points of connection that generate immediate interest. Topics like the weather, current events, or common interests are effective tools, because almost everyone has something to say about them. When arriving at a meeting, a simple comment like, "Amazing how the weather changed so quickly, huh?" can start a conversation naturally. If there's a recent event that everyone knows about, like a popular news story or a sporting achievement, mentioning it can also be a great opener. "Did you see the game last night? What an incredible comeback." The art is in asking questions or comments that invite a broader response, not just a yes or no. Instead of asking, "Did you like the event?" it's more effective to say, "What did you think of it so far?" This approach opens the door for the other person to express themselves more freely, revealing details that can guide the course of the conversation. Another effective strategy is to observe the immediate surroundings. If you're in a home, office, or a place with decorative elements, a comment like, "That painting is amazing. Is it a local artist?" can easily break the ice. At social gatherings, any detail can be the perfect starter. "I love this music. Do you know who chose it?" Or, "What a great idea to bring these kinds of appetizers. Do you like to cook?" The key is to use a friendly and approachable tone, showing genuine curiosity without being intrusive. It's not about finding the perfect topic, but about showing interest and a willingness to connect. People are often equally nervous when talking to someone new, and a well-posed question can put both parties at ease and at ease. It's also essential to pay attention to body language. Maintaining eye contact, smiling, and adopting an open posture all help put the other person at ease. As the exchange progresses, listening carefully and following the natural flow of the conversation helps it flow more organically, turning a timid start into a meaningful interaction. Key point 4. Body language and eye contact. Maintain eye contact to show attention. Adopt an open and natural posture to build trust. Body language and eye contact are powerful tools to establish an effective connection in any conversation. Looking into the other person's eyes not only shows that you are present, but also communicates respect and full attention. Maintaining constant but natural eye contact creates an environment of trust and makes the other person feel valued. It is not a rigid or forced act, but rather a fluid exchange where your gaze reinforces your interest in what they are saying to you. Leaning slightly toward the other person while they're speaking emphasizes that you're engaged in the conversation. It's a subtle gesture that, along with an occasional nod, conveys empathy and understanding. This open posture prevents distractions and assures your interlocutor that you're actively listening. Additionally, keeping your arms and hands in a relaxed position without crossing them or hiding them creates an impression of approachability, removing any physical or symbolic barriers between you. In a conversation, the body accompanies the words, and doing so in a congruent manner reinforces the credibility of what is being communicated. If you're smiling and nodding, but your gaze is lost in the surroundings, or your movements are stiff, the other person will perceive a disconnect. Therefore, maintaining a natural and relaxed posture not only improves communication, but also creates a space where both parties feel comfortable to interact. In more formal situations, such as work meetings or presentations, eye contact should be distributed among those present to avoid anyone feeling excluded. Alternating between people while you speak allows everyone to feel that they are being considered, reinforcing the message you want to convey. In a one-on-one dialogue, looking directly into the eyes while asking a question or answering a question strengthens the bond and ensures that the message is clear. At the same time, it is important to avoid excessive or invasive eye contact, which can be intimidating. Likewise, it is wise to accompany your gaze with congruent facial expressions, a subtle smile to show warmth or a gesture of interest when the topic requires it. The balance between eye contact, facial expressions, and an open posture transforms body language into an essential ally for authentic and effective communication. Key point 5. Preparation for public speaking. Practice ahead of time. Focus on your audience, not your nerves. Public speaking begins long before you step on stage or stand in front of an audience. Preparation is the foundation for a solid presentation. Practicing ahead of time not only familiarizes you with the material, but also helps you anticipate potential mistakes or questions. Rehearsing out loud allows you to fine-tune your tone, pace, and pauses so your message flows naturally. If possible, practicing in front of a mirror or recording yourself can be a valuable tool for observing your body language, spotting unnecessary gestures, or improving your diction. The focus should always be on the audience, not on your nerves. Remembering that people are there because they want to hear from you helps reduce anxiety. Shifting the perspective from being evaluated to sharing something valuable transforms the experience into an opportunity to connect. Imagine you're speaking to a close friend rather than a large group to ease the feeling of pressure. Interacting with your audience is key. Looking directly at attendees, splitting eye contact between different areas of the room, and taking strategic pauses not only reinforce your message, but also engage your audience. A helpful strategy is to start with an anecdote or rhetorical question that grabs attention and establishes an immediate bond. During your presentation, your body language should support your message. Walking with purpose, maintaining an upright posture, and using gestures that emphasize important points project confidence, even if nerves are present. Your hands should move naturally, avoiding crossing or hiding them, to convey openness and confidence. If nerves arise, take a deep breath before you begin. An initial pause to inhale and exhale calmly can stabilize your voice tone and mentally prepare you. It's also helpful to prepare a clear, solid opening, as starting confidently sets the pace for the rest of your presentation. Finally, remember that mistakes are inevitable and human. If you make one, admit it with humor or grace and move on. Audiences value authenticity more than perfection. By focusing on the needs and interests of your audience, nerves diminish and your message gains strength. Your preparation not only supports you, but allows you to enjoy the moment and connect with those who listen to you. Key point 6. Common mistakes and how to handle them. Admit mistakes instead of trying to cover them up. Use humor to ease tension. Mistakes are inevitable in any conversation, presentation, or public interaction, and the key to handling them is how you react to them. Admitting a mistake instead of trying to cover it up not only diffuses tension, but also builds empathy and trust with your audience. When you candidly acknowledge a mistake, you demonstrate humanity and authenticity, which strengthens your connection with others. For example, if you forget an important point in a presentation, a simple admission like, "It seems my mind played tricks on me, let me get back to this real quick," can ease the awkwardness and keep your audience engaged. Humor is a powerful tool for turning a tense moment into a light, easygoing one. If you stumble over a word or get a fact wrong, a witty response like, "Well, it looks like my tongue decided to take the day off," can break the ice and generate a laugh that relaxes both you and your audience. This type of approach not only eases your nervousness, but also creates a warmer, closer atmosphere. When a mistake occurs in a dialogue, such as forgetting someone's name instead of trying to guess or avoiding using their name, it's best to address it directly with a sincere apology. "Sorry, I think I forgot your name for a moment. Could you please remind me?" This shows respect and avoids a potentially more awkward situation. In more serious situations, such as making a factual error in a conversation or during a speech, it's important to correct it quickly and clearly. A direct approach like, "It looks like I got that fact wrong. Here's the correct information," reinforces your credibility and shows that you value accuracy. Ignoring the error or trying to cover it up can erode trust, while addressing it demonstrates integrity. Additionally, turning a mistake into a lesson or an opportunity to connect with your audience strengthens the impact of your message. If something doesn't go as planned, you can share how you plan to learn or improve from that point on. This strategy not only diffuses tension, but also shows leadership and resilience. In any context, mistakes are an opportunity to show that, regardless of the circumstances, you have the ability to react with honesty and humor, which strengthens your presence and connection with those who listen to you. Key point 7. Speaking in social and professional contexts. Adapt tone and topic to the audience. Be brief and clear in professional contexts. Speaking in social and professional contexts requires sensitivity to adjust tone, language, and topic to the needs and expectations of the audience. In a social setting, the tone should be relaxed and accessible, fostering an atmosphere of camaraderie. Here, topics can range from common interests to light anecdotes or topical issues that generate interest without controversy. The key is to keep the conversation flowing and accessible to everyone, avoiding technicalities or comments that may exclude others. In a professional setting, the focus changes. Clarity and brevity are essential. Every word should be intentional, ensuring that the main message is conveyed without beating around the bush. If you are presenting a report, expounding on an idea, or participating in a meeting, prioritize key points, organizing them in a logical order that makes them easy to understand. For example, in a meeting, instead of addressing all the details of a project, focus on the most relevant aspects, objectives, expected outcomes, and the actions needed to move forward. Adapting your tone is also crucial in the professional arena. In a meeting with colleagues, a collaborative and open tone invites the exchange of ideas. In a presentation in front of senior executives, a more formal and direct approach projects confidence and mastery of the subject. Questions and answers should be precise, while also demonstrating that you value others' time. In both spheres, reading audience dynamics is critical. At a social event, notice whether people are interested in a topic or seem disengaged, adjusting your conversation accordingly. In the professional arena, pay attention to non-verbal reactions like nods or expressions of confusion, and respond by adjusting your pace or clarifying points as needed. Regardless of the context, maintaining respect and consideration for others is vital. Socially, avoid topics that may create discomfort or division, such as politics or religion, unless you know the group is comfortable discussing them. Professionally, use respectful and professional language, even when debating opposing viewpoints. Speaking effectively in social and professional contexts means balancing authenticity with adaptability, connecting with your audience on their own terms while delivering your message with confidence and clarity. Key point 8. Adapt to new conversation dynamics. Stay informed about current issues to stay relevant. Avoid overly controversial topics with strangers unless the context allows for it. Adapting to new conversation dynamics involves being aware of changes in the way people interact and the topics that dominate collective interest. Relevance in any conversation begins with being informed about current events. This doesn't mean mastering all the details, but rather having a basic understanding of important events, news of general interest, and social trends. A reference to a recent topic, such as a sporting achievement, a technological innovation, or even a popular cultural phenomenon, can serve as an excellent starting point to break the ice or keep the conversation alive. In a world where information circulates instantly, being aware of headlines and trends shows that you are in touch with reality, which strengthens your position as a good conversationalist. However, more important than being informed is knowing how to use that information. Bringing up an interesting topic with an open-ended question like, What do you think about the new environmental measure they are proposing? Encourages a dialogue that allows the other person to express themselves. Avoiding overly controversial topics with strangers is a golden rule that protects the quality of the interaction. Issues like politics, religion, or intense moral debates can be divisive if not handled carefully. If a sensitive topic does arise, the key is to approach the conversation from a neutral and open perspective. For example, instead of taking a firm stand on one side, you might ask, "I've heard a lot of different opinions on this. How do you feel about it?" This approach reduces the likelihood of confrontation and allows for a more respectful exchange. Furthermore, in modern conversational dynamics, it is important to adjust your language and tone to the context. In more informal settings, you can be more relaxed and use common cultural references, while in formal situations, choose more professional and neutral language. Knowing how to read your audience, whether it is a small group or a larger event, allows you to quickly identify what type of interaction will be well received. Finally, in this constantly changing environment, being willing to learn from each conversation is essential. Each interaction is an opportunity to better understand how people perceive the world, which enriches not only your communication skills, but also your ability to adapt to new social and cultural realities. Key point 9. Importance of asking powerful questions. Ask why to deepen conversations. Use hypotheticals or imaginary situations to spark interesting discussions. Asking powerful questions is the engine of a meaningful conversation. Asking why not only deepens the exchange, but also invites reflection, opening the door to more personal and authentic answers. This simple question stimulates critical thinking and allows you to uncover the motivations, emotions, or experiences behind the other person's words. For example, if someone mentions that they made an important decision, asking, "Why did you choose that path?" not only shows interest, but also gives space for the conversation to become a journey into the other person's values and priorities. Beyond direct questions, hypotheticals or imaginary situations add a dynamic dimension to any dialogue. These questions spark interesting discussions by posing offbeat scenarios, which encourages creativity and the exchange of ideas. For example, in a social conversation, a hypothesis like, "What would you do if you could live in any historical era?" can trigger responses that reveal unexpected dreams, values, or interests. Similarly, in a professional setting, asking, "How would you respond if the market changed this way?" not only enriches the conversation, but also stimulates strategic thinking. Powerful questions also have the power to change the focus of a conversation. When the interaction seems to be at a standstill, a well-thought-out question can reinvigorate it. Asking, "If you had all the resources in the world, what project would you undertake?" not only encourages dialogue, but also creates a space where people can express their aspirations without restrictions. These questions work because they don't seek quick or simple answers. They invite exploration. When using them, it's important to listen carefully and build on the answers you receive. If someone shares an unexpected idea, responding with another question like, "How do you think that would affect your daily life?" deepens the conversation even further. Finally, powerful questions are a tool for connecting on deeper levels. It's not just about keeping the conversation alive, but about leveraging it to truly understand others, revealing perspectives and emotions that might otherwise remain hidden. These questions not only enrich the exchange, but also build lasting bridges in personal and professional relationships. Conclusion. Communication is an essential skill that is developed with practice, honesty, and empathy. Speaking well is not about impressing, but about genuinely connecting with others, adapting to the context, and showing real interest. Every conversation is an opportunity to learn and build meaningful relationships. Mastering the art of speaking opens doors, strengthens bonds, and leaves a lasting positive impression. Get the book at planetalibro.com.